Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology Replay. So on the left side is the blue Poseidon. We got Aces, the Count Von Count. Interesting. He counts Von Counts, I think. So on the right side is red Odin. We got Sorry. Probably not to the Canadian side, because last thing you want to do is Maid to come here. Either way, we do have the Scout claim from Ghosts. They are of course the goat. When it comes to these major gods, of course, Poseidon is the cavalry and economic bonus. Militia spawn from buildings, cavalry and caravans, and Mythians all get increased speed. Particularly, I think that's useful for caravans, make you get more monies. Stable markets are cheaper. Markets have improved exchange rates and free naval scouts. His unique upgrade gives his cavalry a little bit line of sight and a little bit of health gen. Nothing too crazy there. Of course, Odin is the Great Hall units, which may be good for counter cavalry, looked like, but Great Hall is both heroes and cavalry, so both are cavalry sort of focus. Yours gatherers hunt faster, Great Hall units generate more favor, a little bit healthy gen human units and heroes, and two rare scouts. Not really Great Hall units there, more favors, nothing too crazy. And Hazmak here improves the Ulfsark by increasing his speed and bonus for myth units. So it's not really has to be cavalry, but he can be. Poseidon's definitely cavalry. But this thing is an initial upgrade, it's not necessarily, so I suppose both these major gods can go either way. If you want to counter your opponent, who's probably going to go for cavalry, he can go for anti-cavalry immediately. When it comes to Poseidon, I'm more biased towards Ares as an age up. You get Pestilence, which is not as great as Gold Edition. We've changed up one of the few god pairs that got nerfed from Gold. Cyclopes, which is decent frontline myth unit. Early high pass is nice versus the Norse who only deploys that infantry and cavalry. Phobos Spirit Panic is very useful for your Prodromos to help counter the cavalry, but also can be used for hoplites. And of course, got some toxic increased damage, which is always very nice. But most likely, Poseidon's will go for Hermes, which can give the cavalry and increased damage and speed, which is very nice. And of course, free Pegasus Scout. He's going for Hermes. Odin can go either Freyja or Heimdall. Freyja does support more cavalry play for the Great Hall. You get Forest Fire, which is okay, better than Gold Editions at least. Valkyrie's a decent mobile healer, cavalry, not necessarily cavalry, unit. Does increase cavalry speed and hit points, which is a good counterpart to speed and damage. And you get this, which improves your hero's hit points and enable the goatee early. Not too important, but Greeks do tend to go for some myth units. And of course we got Heimdall, who has an excellent god power of Undermine. And Hari is a good force multiplier, but his mythological upgrades are not that great. Sentry Tower and wall hit points, and faster research rate, which is nice, but not really useful. He is going for age up for Freyja. We got a Centaur here. When it comes to relics, at least on the map, we got Cherry Selby, we get a pair of golden lions, which I believe are not classified as myth units. Talos Sessets increase Sentry Towers get bonus damage from myth units. That's not really great, honestly. Little Claw Shao gives your human soldiers more pierce armor, including your heroes, which is very nice, which may double work on twice on the heroic myth unit, or heroes of the Herseer. Scaled of Echidna makes your myth units cost less, except for favor, which is nice if you go heavy more myth units.
Yo!
Percy is trying to engage. Of course, it is age 1, so its damage is horrible. Freyja is almost complete. Now we got a leading horse versus man horse. Thesis is here as well. He is basically the anti-myth unit hero for Poseidon. Oh, looks like the Valkyrie's taking time to just heal up these units. Not bad. Heal up the villagers is very nice. Great Hall is being put on the field. It's a very fine hall. Thesis takes a bit of damage there. Dwarf taking quite a bit of damage there. Ulfsark engaging Thesis. Trying to heal up does save the dwarf. Thesis wasn't really on it all too well. The Elf Sark is slicing apart Thesis, and the Centaur is trying to run away with the Valkyrie. Has movement speed of what, 5.7 versus 6, so it is slower. We've got Atlanta here, the fast hero, fast foot hero. In this case, it doesn't really matter for the Greeks. All their heroes are classified as hero, not as infantry, nor cavalry, nor ranged. So Achilles is not a cavalry, even though Atlantia is almost as fast as him. Forest Fire has been summoned. Way over here, torches down a house. Looks like Red's a bit of a home wrecker. Spotted out by the raven that's flapping around. The lumber camp, or the storehouse, is on fire. Raiding cavalry engaging Atlantia. Thesis has not been taken out, but starts to retarget target Thesis since he is far easier to kill off there. Centaur is down to 23 health. One bot from the Hersier should take him out. Got a pair of Hippos here as well. Centaur is not great versus the Hersier, but since that fired attack safely from range, it's always a good idea to go for it. Hersier can still be healed up by the Valkyrie. Raiding cavalry pushing forward. Raiding Atlantia. Not Atlantis, but just Atlantia. And the Hippos there does get trapped. More Hippos in the build queue. It looks like the Hippos actually taking time killing off some of the zebra. Or at least that one in particular. Guess that one is particularly an asshole. Another Great Hall being set. She already has 2 Great Halls. Not bidding for any of them. Doesn't really need this Great Hall, honestly. Well, I can save some monies. We do now the Lord of Horses being researched. Or at least queued on up, not actually being researched. Looks like Poseidon's low on favor. You don't have enough favor to from the Lord of Horses to research the Lord of Horses. Who would have thunk? Centaur and the Hippos are advancing way forward. The Centaur is basically knocked out. There's the raiding cavalry. Valkyrie falling back. Valkyrie trying to hit the Centaur. Looks like Poseidon just got the Echidna, which makes your myth units cheaper by 15%. Over here, got the raiding cavalry and some Hippos. We got medium Hippos, which is not really economical at this moment. Of course, too early to get out Prodromos. Raiding cavalry push way forward. Only a handful of Hippos there, trying to engage, save the villagers. Atlantia is also engaging. Villagers do manage to escape on out of there. Right now, blue has 28 villagers, red has 25. Got more raiding cavalry build queue, so got a lot of cavalry in the field. Poseidon could, I was going to say, could try aging up to get Prodromos for a good counter, but he's a little bit too low in resources for that. Odin has actually put it close to that, but still not great. First year's getting hit. Gatherers are gathering up some zebras. Centaur is still alive. This Hippos may want to spell formation so it doesn't slow down the formation. Does manage to speed up there. You use the formation to actually speed up forward. 0.5 health regen here versus 0.4 health regen. All equally not great. More raiding cavalry now being employed in the build queue. When it comes to the next age up, let's take a look. We got Scotty or Njord. Njord does buy Walking Woods, cheap, free siege weapons, which is okay. Mounted Giant's okay as a siege weapon. It's not a great myth unit, but it's nice to have. You got Jarl Ringgiver, gives Jarls more hit points, so he's going to go for Great Hall units. This is probably a good way to go. Bonus damage versus myth units. Raiding cavalry get divine damage and gold bounty raids. Oh. Raiding cavalry's hitting some of these Hippos. We do have medium raiding cavalry versus medium Hippos. We've got Aphrodite queued on up. Usually Dionysus is probably the better option for Poseidon for cavalry focus, but Aphrodite is very nice for villager stuff. Let's see. Over here, of course, we got Rhyme. We got the Arctic Wind, which is for the ships. Villagers gather food faster from farms by plus 25. A very nice upgrade there. Plus 10% from other sources, so very good mythological upgrade. Hunter's Axe just makes your axeman better. Of course, you got Frost's stasis ability. Superior charge queued on up. Looks like he's not researched that. We do have the Freysia counterpart already researched. Aphrodite not being researched. I really think he should get out some Padromos. Going for our breastplates. Very nice. Hippus in this card. There's a lot of rain cavalry on the field. Got 53 versus 81. Quite a bit more value for red as well. No watchtowers help out, let alone correlations. Hippus does find a small group of raiding cavalry there. The rest is raiding cavalry moving around. Houses covered in soot. Not from the volcano, though. Greek forest fire. Probably from gender reveal party. I think that's how the last big one started. No, wait, no. The Palisades fire was started by... I think it was an arsonist that did that one. Either way, Aphrodite does provide Curse, an excellent god of fire, particularly versus cavalry. Nemean Lion, which is very nice. Villagers can move faster, and carry more. Very nice. Villagers generate more favor. Zeus double favor. And Nemean Lion's a pretty good crowd control myth unit, honestly. Like any good cat, or any cat, they just go up to their opposition, just scream at them. That's how the stun works. Spirited Charge being researched, heavy cavalry. I really do think he needs Gauss and Padromos. Nemean Lion does move 5.1. Maybe pull off the formation. Same for Thesis. Thesis needs to be pulled off the formation. Alantia can accompany the Nemean Lion. Cat screams at the horses. We got some Padromos on the build queue. Very nice. Perseers as well. These forces won't get overwhelmed. These villagers may just want to evacuate over here. I think Poseidon's low in gold. Curse. I'm not sure where the curse actually was. Over here. Looks like there's a couple cavalry there. Prodromos engaging that raiding cavalry. The rest of the piggies will wee all the way to their new home. More Prodromos. Very good. Of course, Odin does not have access to Bragi, which gives access to Swinery to improve your Erdman to fight against cavalry, make your counter cavalry even better against them, which he simply does not have, like I said. Perseers and All-Star going to get stabbed from behind. Nemean Lion screams. More Prodromos push way forward. Good amount of raiding cavalry here. All of them getting some good health regen. Valkyrie still alive. Nemean Lion screams. Of course, Nemean Lion's scream gets much better when it gets upgraded. Right now it's just okay. It can be even better. More Prodromos push way forward. Though they've run into a house. Erdman there. Of course, it's Dark Age Erdman, not even a medium Erdman. Screams there, stuns the Erdman. And we do now have the Winged Messenger at Free Pegasus, or a Free Pegasus. Got more Hoplites, more Hypastus being queued on up. Right now, they're also Dark Age. And we've got New World here for the Mountain Giant. And the Ring Giver. A Precious Giver, I should say. Dwarves trying to claim up the gold. Nemean Lion stuns the Valkyrie. Of course, on Nemean Lion got a couple picks there. Got Atlantean mix on in. Good number of kills there. A good number of dwarves have gone down. Now the dwarves need a 6-foot grave. So they'll truly be in the element underground.
Take it.
Got the mountain giant there. Prodromo stabbing the barracks. Or longhouse. Housing starting to get hit. Got the cavalry trying to rotate around. Valkyrie may go down, but she's actually not getting hit. Nimi line took some hits there. Heavy infantry now being researched by Red. Let's go and go for some more infantry. That's a raven there. I thought it was a house. Oh, over down here. Prodromo's find some villagers. Looks like them Olsark sacking a good number of villagers there. I say that's a pretty good raid, forcing the Ulfsarks. Your opponent spends a lot of resources there and loses the permanent collection. Villagers heading more down south. Got bit by some hyenas, some laughing doggos. Medium infantry has been researched. Go for more hoplites and hypastus. All Sarks in good numbers. Heavy infantry, copper weapons. Oh, Walking Woodsman summoned. Does one on the front line. They don't have great damage. 8 DPS versus these units. Not great. It's a bit more of an emergency thing. Walking Woods is definitely a cheap siege weapon. Nemean Lion still in the mix. Valkyrie is still alive for now, but likely will go down this fight. Nemean Lion takes some hits. Some of the Nemean Lion has low hack armor, even though mythology-wise, he was actually known for our nearly impenetrable skin. Hercules had to strangle the thing. If I remember the mythology right, at least. High passes may want to turn around and start just generally engaging, but there's a good number of Ulfsarks here. Going for Atlantia and Hippolyta. Throwing Axeman being queued on up. Hippolyta now deployed in the field. Got the plow and the survival equipment. That survival equipment, can't speak. Oh, Birdie went down. Another Nemean Lion. When it comes to possible age, could see Artemis or Hepatis. I think Hepatis would be better. Artemis gives you Chimera. Earthquake's an excellent god power. Chimera is a good frontline myth unit. Increased range soldier damage. And the other one, I'll worry about a little bit later. Ulfsarks being trying to hit some villagers. We'll slice apart some villagers there. Another forest fire. Covers all these guys in soot. Nemean Lion scream, stuns the formation. Storehouse store nothing more. Does give you one militiaman. Villagers need to get inside the fortress. Hopefully oil's research for him. $46 for 32. Red needs to get more picks like that. But going back to this, heroes get bonus damage versus myth units, which is actually not too great. These guys have taken quite a bit of damage there, and they'll be picked off one at a time. These units are backing off the corner. The other one is, of course, Hepatis. I think this would be the better choice for Poseidon. Get the Plentiful, which is a pretty good god power. Colossus, which is actually not deployed too often. This is the nice thing about it. Heavy Heratos makes your unique cavalry get plus shoots of damage and bonus infantry myth unit. Since it does AoE damage, it's particularly effective, and armor attacks cost less. If you go for Artemis, go for the Earthquake. If you go for Hephaestus, this is primarily what you're going for. Plentiful is just a nice little bit of extra stuff for Poseidon. For Odin, you can see Balder or Tyre. Tyre gives access to Fimbulwinter, a common god power. Tyre's generally more common. Fenris Wolfroot, occasionally seen deploy packs of them. It has horde bonuses. Greenline gets a good scream there. Last of these walking woods we picked on off, they were pretty wounded. Number of throwing axemans here. Nemean lines try to go down. Redstone loses 4 Seer. More throwing axemen. Think about the Hippus. More All-Stars coming back. Hippolyta gonna get hacked apart. Taking out some more of those dwarves, All-Stars being engaged. Got some militiamen mixed on in there as well. And overall, both blue technically won the fight, but it's not exactly in a position to push any farther forward. For the rest of this, we also got for the Berserker Gang gives the All-Stars some life steal, which is pretty nice. Scrolls get bonus damage versus buildings, which is not really that important, but also increase the damage by plus 20%. But if you go for Tyre, you're probably going for more of the All-Stars. Balder provides Heroes of Ragnarok. The Fire Giant's probably one of the best myth units in the game, in my opinion. Just a very good backline myth unit that just puts solid damage out. The other upgrades here got Dwarven Augur, gets makes your battery rams train faster, can make them more speed and more damage. It's okay. Most people don't go for battery rams. And you got Sons of Zephyr, makes your cavalry get bonus damage plus 20% damage and plus 1 damage versus ranged soldiers. So this is probably the option for Odin since he's been going for cavalry build. So Poseidon should still eye for the Prodromos. Nemean Lion pursuing those All-Stars. Does Scream locks on formation, but he's a little bit about number. Does he have the half mask upgrade, whatever it's called? Yeah, does have bonus damage versus myth units, so they do plus 50% damage versus myth units, which is very nice. Basically, allow them to overcome the armor. Triple Nemean Line, maybe one of the Nemean. We got the Aura of Rural Thrust upgrade, turns the Nemean Reliance and Nemean Rexes, increasing the radius of the roar by 100%. But the thing is, well, that is more than just double radius. That's close to triple due to how surface area works. That is enough to lock down armies, to say the least. Doesn't improve durability, but it does give him a nice little golden coat. Guess it goes from copper to bronze. Or brass. There's the golden lions. Screams down, locks down a good number of units there. Got some Ulf Jarls, medium Jarls. More high passes and hoplites to forward. Doing a good job of skipping the range upgrades or range armor upgrades because simply Norse doesn't get range damage. If your Norse opponent has range damage with large numbers, then you should start eyeing to get an upgrade. At most, get the copper shields just to help protect yourself from town centers, but other than that, don't really need it. Definitely should avoid iron shields against Norse. During Axemen and Ulf Jarls, blah. Prodromos and Hippus push way forward, getting some damage to these forces. We got now the Divine Blood there, makes the villagers move faster, carry more in build faster, which does mean generates collects fast as well, since it'd be less trips and certain resources such as food, which it has a bit of farm and traverse time, which is double stacked. It's actually makes it less impactful of losing the extra move speed. Or I'm telling him plus extra move speed, less times when you drop off, faster times, reduced times for dropping off, then increased move speed. It's a very good upgrade, don't get me wrong. It's hard to estimate though. These villagers probably get hit by the Jarls, which are now very fine Jarls. Great roar there, locks on the formation, and does stagger. I'm not sure if he did that, if it's smart enough to separate them, or that was his own micro. By the way, excellent work there. Got 2 stuns off. Cop or medium range, ballistics. High pass scheme picked on off. Padromos being pursued. Right now, blue has 99 military units field versus 71. And of course, nearly twice the amount of villagers. More walking woods there, which are cheap, free siege weapons. Very good. Very short tree. Trees are starting to eat the town center. Got some Padromos in response. They are fast cavalry, particularly with their spirited charge upgrade. Moving at a very nice 6.9 speed. And Thess is coming in and shanking the walking wood. Since they're classified as myth units, he is going to rip them apart and get his veggies. Needed more fiber in his diet. Hippus engaging. Meme line's already going down. May as well per age up, the meme line gets faster, so next age will be up to like 5.4, right? Not as fast as cavalry, but still at least able to accompany them a little bit faster. We do have now more Ulf Jarls being employed on the field, or Great Jarls. Donkey caravans here. Going for a small number right now before you complete deplete your gold is probably a good idea.
Yo.
Ulf Jarls move at 5.3. They're not exactly quick, so the Padromos will easily close the distance onto them. Birdie goes down. And red does go ahead and resign there. This Angrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay.